Are you guys gonna love this? And by love, I mean you are gonna be split right down the middle. Welcome to Ez Draws. I'm Ez, and today I'm drawing one of my characters in 80s hair metal inspired costume. Let the ambivalence begin. Alright, so first thing I draw is an overall pose, and today I'm going to be using just a 3B pencil. 3B pencil is it's not the softest thing in the world, but it's quite soft. Nice to make, you barely need to touch the paper before it makes a mark. I really like that. And yeah, it's important to get the overall pose going. It's sort of like a bit of a pattern. I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to stop, well, I'm going to keep talking, but I'm going to start drawing so long. So, you start at the top and you work your way down. We start with the head. See, last time I just drew the head, but you guys are going to now see me draw like a full body kind of thing. Bit about the character. The character's name is Abby. She's about 15, 16 years old. Growing up in the late 80s. This is just a piece to sort of evoke it's probably the spirit of the times by just dressing her up in some hair metal costume. For those of you who don't know, I doubt like a ton of you don't know, but hair metal is Van Halen and Def Leppard and all those bands. Basically, if all the band members have really long hair and they shoot out some power ballads every now and then, I think that would qualify as hair metal. Okay, so I'm just being really rough with this whole thing. It's sort of like a holistic approach to it. I have an idea of what I want the pose to be. I'm just gonna change this a bit to get some angles. I just sort of want her to really just look like she's having fun. A pseudo sort of promo piece just to get people interested in the story. You gotta do these things. But luckily I enjoy it. And just getting a lot of opposing angles, getting a sort of flow to the pose. I'm gonna be still changing a few things. But, for example, just making sure that the, you call it your contrapposto, to have the shoulders tilt opposite to the hips tilt. I think I'm saying that right. It's just a nice way to show some, to make it look el naturel. And then the arm, I'm really stuck on it being like straight. I've just done thumbnails of this, but I've got a good idea that I want the hand to sort of jump into this, not a 90-degree angle, but I want the hand to jump into this shape. So I can redirect the eye upwards, and then I'm going to have something go here to redirect to her face. So you've got this whole sort of eternal loop of just seeing the character's face. Okay, this is pretty much what I'm going to be going for. I think you guys can see that. I hope so. Gonna move it a bit. She's got her foot standing on something. If you've seen any kind of live shows, you'll see they normally go up to the front and then they just put one of their feet on the speakers and then just totally wail. They're always stomping in those videos, and like, I've never been to a real live show, but they're always stomping, and then it's like stomp, 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 I'm singing a song. So I really just want that feel there, and then this leg will just go down. Okay, this is generally what I'm going for. I'm gonna make her sort of hold. I'm gonna have her have this sort of improv mic, a long stand mic. The premise of this picture basically is, she's pretty much a latchkey kid. Her mom's not home a lot, and they live in a nice apartment building, so the mom would like either go to work or go on a date or something and just, tell Abby, call the neighbor if something happens. So Abby is home a lot, and she can just, will probably grab her headphones, her Walkman if you will, and just play the music nice and loud and just have a good time. Have a makeshift little concert, make herself feel like a rock star. Okay, now that I've got the general pose down, I'm gonna go back to the face. It's good to work holistically, to refine bit by bit, top to bottom the whole time, so that your entire image progresses sort of at the same rate. But the face and the eyes and everything going on up here, it's the most important. If you can't nail this, don't bother even refining this. Just try to get the face working reasonably well. Okay, I'm gonna go back in. And I think I want to tilt it more, just a bit more, to the point where it's sort of like that. Because then we got that tilt there, we got that tilt there, and you sort of got this character really just moving. You're gonna know the proportions of your own character's face. That's entirely up to you. I wouldn't copy necessarily what I'm doing, because I know for a fact that my proportions— whoa, hit the camera, sorry. My proportions tend to be wrong. I can't really pull them off that well. People often comment on me, "Yeah, your characters look so short." That's just because I'm incompetent. Thank you very much for pointing that out. We all have things we have to work on every now and then. So you can sort of see the face developing. It's looking okay, so I can go down to the neck again and start refining little by little. Especially if it's like a sort of like a promo piece picture like this one. I'll do a few thumbnails and I'll check up on everything. Do it a few times and then go into the final picture and just be very careful. Okay, I'm just going to do some measurements here. That looks good. That looks good. Her crotch is 2 heads down. And then the rest I'm just going to improvise, just as long as her body looks okay. If it's going to be there, it's going to be there. Yeah, looks good. Good job, Ez. We're all so proud of you. Applesauce. Okay. Just going to do that. A cool tip with hands, I think I'm just going to, yeah, I got some space here. If you want a hand in a sort of a fist to look good, alternate the direction of the fingers like that. And it'll have a bit more motion. So I'm going to be drawing that now. I'm going to be drawing here. Just alternate the angles there, and it'll add some visual interest. That's basically all this is really about. I'm going to have her use like an umbrella or something here. I'll bring in a ruler when I have to, but you know, I don't really have to just yet. And I think I'm gonna have to lower this a bit, because like I said, I want it to be makeshift, so I'm gonna have her have a hairbrush or something taped to the end of the umbrella, and just, you know, like I said, have her feel like a total rock star, just having a good time. I'm just gonna block in the shape of her hair. Nice big hair. People are always asking me, why are you setting a story in the 1980s? Because it's fantastic fun to draw. All of those shapes, they're billowing fun shapes, and just absolutely, it's just incredible. Okay, and you know, at this point I also start just working on the basic shapes. Like, here's a shoe. Why am I going to draw a foot if a shoe is going to cover it? It's that sort of logic. I'm also not even going to refine the arm so much, because she's going to have these nice big sleeves that go in here, and it's just going to, you know, don't spend too much time on something that people are not going to see. What happens essentially is you get pretty attached to an anatomical segment of the character, and then you don't want to cover it up, and then you end up changing the character's costume so you can just show off what a great arm you've drawn, or what a great midriff you gave the character. And that's just it's fairly counterintuitive. Don't do that. Okay, now that I've gone again top to bottom, I'm going to go back to the top. Like I said, I'm very careful right now, and I'm going to try to just fix the face a bit. I hope you guys. My hand's going to move in a bit here and there. And just make sure everything works. Just sketching in the hairline as well, that's very important. I always sketch in the hairline just a bit, even if you know, forgive me, whether it's obvious or not, even just like a tiny line, just so I know where the character's going. Just sketch a bottom eye line in there as well. Lots of people, like when they draw a character, they draw the eyes on top of the eye line. Nothing wrong with that. I just had this book growing up when I was a teenager. This manga drawing book. It was a Chris Hart book. I think a lot of people are like nodding along. Oh yeah, Chris Hart, he did those manga books. But anyway. And one artist, I remember her name, it was Denise Akemi. she had a method where she rested the eyelids on top of the eyeline. And I just I picked it up when I was young, I think I was 14, and I just stuck with it. So I tend to do that and then just substitute a lower eyeline just to make sure everything is aligned. Really important, people always ask me, what's the secret to drawing a good 3/4 view? Sketching the brow, really, just sketching the brow and where the brow leads into the nose. And you're generally gonna do just fine. Because, it's not an exact science, I suppose. Yeah, I'm not a very serious artist. I take my work seriously to a certain extent, but if the character's personality shines through, and people can see what the character's thinking, what the character's doing, what the character's like, what the character, what are the character's fears? Why is the character looking like, really afraid or something? Then that's enough for me. I don't want specific, details to be perfect. Like, oh, this arm needs to be, you've got to have the little muscle over here and a little muscle over there and, working it in there. I don't give a damn. I'm sorry, I don't give a darn. I'm trying to keep this as curse-free as possible. Okay, that's as far as I'm gonna go with it now, because, like I said, I'm gonna take a lot of clothes, I'm gonna be covering this. I'm not gonna refine any anatomical things any further than this. The basic shape is there, and like I said, your character's proportions. This character is about 5.5 heads. You always, you measure in head lengths. For those of you who don't know, it's just a good way to keep a character's proportions consistent throughout, so that every time you draw your character, it looks like the same character, and they use it. There are lots of tiny little measurements that you can take, but if you're the only person drawing the character, you don't need to go to too far lengths to specify that kind of stuff, because it's your character, So I've got the general lines. I'm sort of happy with the pose. Yeah, I'm just generally happy with it. I might check this line, the center line, just to check this, the leg she's supported on, but that comes a bit later. I'm just gonna lighten this up again. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to the face again. I'm so scared some of you are getting a little bored now, but this is just, I'm trying to be quick. Just gonna do the face really quickly. And just refining the head. This picture was inspired by a music video that I saw by the band Danger Danger, and I just loved the lead singer's name it's Ted Poley, I think, and he just had a fantastic little outfit that he wore for their Naughty Naughty, I know right, music video. Naughty Naughty. And I just thought the shapes of it were just brilliant, and I saw a little promotional picture of it. I just thought it looked brilliant, and I just really wanted, because the shape of the jacket, it's got a nice big shoulder, as you would see in the 80s, but then it sort of works its way in and gets smaller and tighter around there, and it just looks brilliant. And it's really big and billowing at the top and really tight at the bottom, so I'm going to try to work that in. Yeah, some nitpickers are probably, if you do know anything about this, some nitpickers are going to be like, oh, but Danger Danger was established in 1989, and your story is set in 1987, what are you doing? Well, to that answer, I don't care. She's not listening to Danger Danger, she's probably listening to something else. Okay. Just gonna do that. She's got nice thick eyebrows, and those thick eyebrows that they tended to have in the 80s. They just didn't bother with it. Gonna give her a nice headband, also something I saw on Ted Poley's lovely young face way back when. He's still performing though. I think he's still part of Danger Danger. I think they're still active, and well, as active as they could be, except for nostalgic purposes, I suppose. And he sung a few songs from the newer Sonic the Hedgehog games. Rolling around at the speed of sound. You know that one. That's him. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop here for now. Wait, she's got really creepy eyes. I'm gonna stop here for now, and I'm gonna keep going next time. I don't want these videos to be too long, so yeah, tune in next time and you'll see how I refine the rest of the drawing, just little by little. Thanks for watching.